Hi, my name is Adrian Aksisa. My age is 65 years young. I train at the moment at the Gozo Indoor Sports and Aquatic Pavilion every Thursdays and Fridays. Alongside my daughter, who helps me a lot in the training schedule. We have a great class, around 30 students, and we practice Tai Chi, which is an ancient art 400 years old. I've been instructing around 40 years, but I have been training around 45 years.
My name is Mario Saliba. I'm 57 years old, and my club is called Gozo Spirit Combat International Club. I've been training around 39 years and instructing about 35 years. I'm 7th Dan degree black belt in Spirit Combat and 5th Dan degree black belt in kickboxing. I used to compete both locally and abroad. In 1989, I was the national full contact kickboxing champion of my category, and now we incorporate kickboxing also in the Spirit Combat training.
My name is Kevin Saliba. I am 46 years old, and my club name is Zenshin Dojo Spirit Combat, and is located at Hazabuch. I have been training since I was 13 years old. That's about 33 years now. I have trained various styles, including karate, fencing, judo, Olympic wrestling, Wing Chun, Thai boxing, kickboxing, which I did for various years, holding also a black belt, and then Spirit Combat, which I am a black belt 6th Dan.
My martial arts background takes me to, first I started in Kung Fu. Then I did Kung Fu for around 5 years. That was in the 1980s. In 1985, I commenced on the beautiful art of Spirit Combat, which is a combination of martial arts.
During experiencing different styles of martial arts, I always found my way back to Spirit Combat due that it has many different things in its syllables. You can do kicks, punches, strikes, locks, grappling, martial arts weapons. So you can never really get bored. I really like teaching students. I like when a student comes to me kind of afraid to train, especially kids. Then during the years, I can see the change in them, their confidence increasing, their physical fitness, their ability, their techniques, achieving different belts. I really like that.
Well, I started Spirit Combat way back when I was much younger, obviously. I was bullied at school, and I couldn't cope with that. I started martial arts a few years later, and I think that is the reason why I started Spirit Combat. After 39 years of training, if I have to do it again, definitely I will do it. The reason being that Spirit Combat is a great family, both on a national level and as well on an international level. And the technique is very nice, very flowing, and it's very effective.
I went abroad and started Spirit Combat, and it took me from being a student to an instructor to opening up my own clubs. And the first club was in Slima at the Safari Sanctuary in 1985. The date was 7th October, the time was 7 p.m. And a simple advert on the newspaper brought me around 80 students, and remember, wow, I'm just starting getting all these people together, I was shaking, and I said, wow, already one advert. The simple advert I wrote is that it combines kickboxing, Tai Chi, any style, Jiu-Jitsu, Aikido, but that advert attracted a lot of people, and people came from all over the country. And I had 80 students.
I started training in October 1986 as a student. My instructor at that time had problems to come from Malta to Gozo, and eventually I, together with another instructor, took over the club.
Originally, the club was part of Schola Sports. It was located at Zaytun. There were different instructors. I joined the club as a blue belt or brown belt, as an assistant instructor. Eventually, the club passed through me. It was quite difficult for me from being a student to becoming an instructor. There's quite a distinction that one have to realize between training with other students and teaching students, but luckily I managed so far.
What keeps me passionate about teaching Spirit Combat is, they told me, my students, and always telling me, is you have a mission. Mission to teach the beautiful art of Spirit Combat. There's a system called Harmony as well, where two people are working together, not against each other, but with a sense of self-defense. So you've got people training, not injuring each other, having fun, families all together. So if you create a family, wouldn't you want to teach? So that's the question. Yes, seeing people get together makes me want to teach. And in fact, now me and my daughter have been chosen to represent Malta and Gozo in China on the 25th October in Wudang Mountains. So we're very excited to represent our beautiful countries.
Spirit Combat, way back in the beginning at least, when it was introduced by Kencho Adrian Axisa in Malta, it was very much more physical, which is a good aspect, and we try to keep that as well. But now, I believe that it is more technical, while keeping the physical and spiritual aspect still on.
My instructor told me this. He said, whatever you do, Adrian, I'm going to tell you this, God bless in your decisions. So the reason I took Spirit Combat was for those two words, God bless, and it led me to where I am now.
Lately, we had a black belt meeting, and we're going back to our roots. In fact, this syllabus hopefully is going to change again soon to more techniques and longer training.
My idea was always to amalgamate all the martial arts together. In fact, that's why we did the Malta Martial Arts Association, which I'm president of that as well, is to try. My dream was always to get all martial arts together. Okay, one thing I like to mention, I have a student, Andrew Falson. I said that name aloud because he really impressed me. He impressed me. One, he used to make me look good when I trained, because he was amazing. He was superb, kicks, perfect, passion in the art. That's what you need, passion, to become better, and train every day, practice every day. Nobody gets to the end if you don't walk to the end. So in martial arts, you have to practice every day to come to the end. But Andrew Falson, okay, he left us recently. But at least I've got a friend of mine who's up there who's going to greet me with open arms. And for me, he's a master up there, because the legacy that he showed, that he can use martial arts. This guy had Parkinson's disease, very severe, motor in his brain and everything. But still, when he wanted to control, the energy, he could stop his movements. He still trained martial arts, obviously with limitations, but for a few moments he could really show that he could be a true master. Now, he was a master. He was a master of overcoming his difficulties. It's not a belt. It's how you use it in everyday life. Now, if you get people like Andrew Falson, who could do this outside in a training hall, then the students are getting what they need, not what they want. They need these skills to survive in good times and bad times.
The basic concept that we love in Spirit Combat are, I call it the 3 S's concept: self-discipline, self-confidence, and finally self-control. And these are aspects that could be well implemented in the daily life.
My journey was to train, to be fit, to be better in my attitudes, in my way I talk, in all aspects of life, how to be a better man. So all of a sudden, a spark came into my mind and the words resonated like truth and oneness. So that was my logo and I still use it till today. It's truth and oneness.
During my training, apart from the physical aspect and the self-defense aspect, I try to teach also a way of life. In the sense, if you're doing something, concentrate only on doing that. Let's say if you're training kicks, concentrate only on the kicks. Then I try to go over, I try to make the children understand, let's give them an example. If you are doing your homework, concentrate only on doing homework, forget the television and other things like that.
When I was a young man, I wasn't the way I am nowadays. Because when you train, let's say you have anger, let's say you have an emotions that is affecting you. What happens when, personally I'm saying, okay? What happened to me is that you express yourself in your moves, so when you get out from a training hall, a dojo, you don't have that anger or where you can control it sort of. In fact, my philosophy, even if I'm right, I always give way. Otherwise, it will be wasted energy.
When I was young, I had a health problem and I couldn't do physical activity, I believe, up to 15 years. But I was always determined to do martial arts. When I started, it was very, very difficult and I had my hard times, but it changed my physical condition totally.
It helped me just physically more healthy, more mentally prepared for any situation that might arise. But having said that, martial arts prepares you also to control yourself. There's no need of proving yourself anymore. There's only you challenging yourself. There's no need to challenge other people.
Okay, my advice for people and parents to start martial arts, visit the clubs first. Get to know the instructor, because especially young kids, they're gonna get influenced by an instructor. So, talk to the instructor. Talk about the safety of the club, the safety of the teaching abilities, the way they handle kids, the way they approach the training.
Forget the belts, forget the grades. Just go, have fun, and learn as much as you can.
New students at times start to lose a bit heart when training with the whole class, but special focus is and attention is given to them. I always tell them, this is an investment in your life, both physically and I would say much more mentally.